is kicking around, or you are thinking about what to do at the end of the year to share, please keep us in your thoughts, because we are still struggling from the after effects of COVID. You know, it's coming back, but really slowly. And we don't want to lose this place. This place is too special. We love having people like Luke here where you can actually hear him. There aren't too many listening rooms where people don't clink and chat and everything else. So anyway, and it looks like Luke might have some special guests for us tonight too. And most of you know his, honestly played with Jerry Douglas, Lyle Lovett, Yonder Mountain String Band. It's like, whoa. And just listening to the sound check and his workshop he did this afternoon, I know you're in for a real treat. So let's welcome him to the stage, Luke Bulla.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I'm so grateful to see you all here. Thank you for coming and supporting live music. Very much appreciated. Well, my name is Luke, and I grew up in a family band, and I've been playing fiddle since I was 7. I've been singing on stage since I was 4, and it was a real colorful and interesting way to grow up, and grew up playing a lot of bluegrass and Texas-style music, and got into singing and songwriting, and so I'm going to play a kind of a wide range of stuff for you this evening. Some original tunes, and the others that I'll do for you I'm related to somehow or another. Oh, the days are long and the nights are lonely since you left me all alone. I worried so, my little darling. I worried so since you've been gone. Sweetheart of mine, can't you hear me calling? A million times I love you best. I mistreated you, Lord, and I'm sorry. Come back to me is my request. I remember, dear, the night we parted. A big mistake, can't cause it all. If you'd come back, sunshine will follow. And if you'd stay, it'll be my fault. Sweetheart of mine, can't you hear me calling? A million times I love you best. I mistreated you, Lord, and I'm sorry. Come back to me is my request. Oh, the nights are long, my little darling. Oh, how I need your sweet embrace. When I woke, the sun was shining, and I looked up and I saw your face. Sweetheart of mine, can't you hear me calling? A million times I love you best. I mistreated you, Lord, and I'm sorry. Come back to me is my request. Come back to me is my request. Thank you. Some Bill Monroe tunes to start us off there. The first one was called Come Hither to Go Yonder, and the next one was called Jerusalem Ridge. Been playing that one a long time. I thought I knew it until I got into Ricky Skaggs' band with Bobby Hicks. He let me know right away I wasn't playing it right. More on that later. As I mentioned, I grew up in a family band, and I been playing music my whole life, pretty much, and was born into it. My father's from North Carolina, and I grew up in northeastern Washington State, which is not necessarily known as a bluegrass hotbed, but I grew up with it and was introduced to Ricky Skaggs and Kentucky Thunder, and grew up listening to Bill Monroe, of course, and Flatt and Scruggs and the Stanley Brothers. But I was really into kind of the next generation, Jerry Douglas and Bela Fleck and Sam Bush and Mark O'Connor and all that stuff. It was really inspiring to me. I listened to mostly a lot of that kind of thing growing up, and until I got to Nashville, I started getting into some real singer-songwriters, you know. This next one is written by one of my favorite singer-songwriters, and I would love to get my. I'm really lucky. I'm getting to travel with my cousin Gunnar on this trip, this run of these 5 shows, and He's an excellent musician, and he's gonna join me on fiddle on this one. You did play on this one, right?
Which one is it?
This is the one written by two of my favorite songwriters ever, Rodney Crowell and Guy Clark. They wrote this about 1980, and when I was looking for material for my record, my first full-length record that I put out a few years back, it's been a few years now, 7 years ago now. Time flies. But we were listening to a bunch of Guy Clark stuff, and came across this one, and I just fell in love with it. This is called The Partner That Nobody Chose. She's a melody in search of the words I love. She's a rose with no room to grow. She's a light in the night with nowhere to shine. She's a partner that nobody chose. She's tried and she's tried and she's tried to keep on trying, but everything she's tried fell apart. She's tried and she's tried and she's tried to keep on loving, but every man she loved broke her heart. She's a melody in search of the words I love you. She's a rose with no room to grow. She's a light in the night with nowhere to shine. She's a refuge where nobody goes. She's fallen and stumbled and stumbled and she's fallen, and no one picked her up when she fell. She stood up with hope up that someone would show up. Someday you never can tell. She's a melody in search of the words I love her. She's a rose with no room to grow. She's a light in the night with nowhere to shine. She's a partner that nobody chose. She's a light in the night with nowhere to shine. She's a refuge where nobody goes. She's lonesome and nobody knows. Thank you. Oh, Guy Clark. Well, the family band was our full-time business. It was our family business. It's what we did for about 13 or 14 years. And we didn't go away to school, and Mom and Dad didn't go away to work. We did all of it, all together, all the time, for a long time. And we got to travel a lot. It was, like I mentioned, it was an interesting and colorful way to grow up. I had a lot of really incredible experiences and got to see the world and got to meet all kinds of really cool people. I'm not necessarily recommending it. I'm just saying it was, it was interesting. One of my favorite things to do in all those years traveling, we had a couple of tour buses. The first bus we had was a 1948 Greyhound, Silversides, and that thing was a beast. It was like a, I don't know if y'all have seen that movie, A League of Their Own. That's the bus. That's the bus that we had, and the same kind of bus. You know, with a 4-speed shifter on the column with a double clutch and no power steering and a big crank handle for the front door. That thing was pretty great. We decided we got it. It was a strange brown color, and we decided we were going to paint it one year. So my parents picked out, you know, this fancy like metallic desert rose and something else, and it came out of the shop. It was pink and purple. I mean, I was embarrassed enough, you know. Then we graduated to a 1963 Silver Eagle that used to belong to Johnny Paycheck. And it was also a strange brown color. It had racing stripes on it, but they were backwards. I was also embarrassed about that. But in traveling, we would leave home the end of May or thereabouts and would stay gone for about 6 months, touring all over the country, playing fairs and state and county fairs mostly. I'll always resent those pig races. You know, they always drew a lot more people than the family band.
Yes, I get it.
No, those were fine, and those were what they were. But my favorite thing to do was to go to fiddle contests and to go to festivals, like bluegrass festivals. I got to meet other young people. It's where I first saw other young people playing, and it was really inspiring to me. When I was I think I was 8 or 9 years old, my family band was playing in Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri. We were there playing 5 shows a day, and it was so hot that the asphalt was like melting around our shoes, you know. But our shows weren't very long, you know. They were like 30, 40 minutes apiece, so it wasn't too bad. But at that age, I didn't care, you know. I just wanted to play and then would go ride the rides in between the sets, you know, if I could. But at that place and at that time, when I was 8 or 9, my family met a band called Nickel Creek, and it was all different then. Chris was playing guitar and Sean was playing mandolin, and Chris's dad Scott was playing upright bass with him. But we stayed in touch with them and got to know them, and I stayed, you know, still friends with them now. And back around about 2006 or 7, I was going out to Los Angeles a lot to play with Sean and Sarah as part of their Watkins Family Hour that they do. It's a residency that they do at a really cool place called Largo at the Coronet down there, and they have so many cool folks come through there as part of that. You know, when I was there, John C. Riley would come by, and Jackson Brown and Fiona Apple, and a whole bunch of amazing musicians like Greg Leese and Pete Thomas and Belmont Tench and Davey Farragher, and it was a really fun time. The other kind of main character in that situation was a guy named Glenn Phillips. You guys know Glenn? You heard of Glenn Phillips? Lead singer of a band called Toad the Wet Sprocket. Moderately successful band in the 90s. Glenn was one of my favorite songwriters, and through this whole process, we decided we were going to make a record and have a band. We called ourselves WPA, Works Progress Administration. And we have one record out, and we did a little bit of touring, and that record is still out there. This song is one that I got to write with Glenn. It was the first time I'd ever gotten to write with Glenn. And it's got this, like, you know, diminished, resolving to the minor, which is like pretty spooky. And I think Glenn was going through a breakup when we wrote this one. One, two, two, two. What happens when you go? Who's gonna cry for you? What happens when you go? Who's gonna cry for you? Who's gonna cry for you? Strike blood upon your door. They're gonna come for you. Clean the blood up from the floor. He's gonna come for you. Who's gonna cry for you? cold? Who's gonna cry for you? You awaken to the cold, but who'd ever want to hold you? Who's gonna cry for you? Who will love you when you're old? Who's gonna cry for you? Lies to save him that you told. Who's gonna love for you? Oh, you demon, I can't forgive you. Angel, if you don't know what you've done, if you don't know what you've done, how I pity you. If you can't hold your head up, then don't hold your heart up. If you can't hold your head up, then don't hold your heart up. If you can't hold your head up, then don't hold your heart up. Ooh. Who's gonna cry for you? Thank you. That's Gunnar Nelson, everybody, on the fiddle. Thank you, Gunnar. I'm gonna do this here. Fiddle tune. You wanna take a break? Break time. Gunnar and I don't get to see each other or play music together nearly often enough, so it's always a treat when we get to. He lives up north of Spokane, where I'm from originally, and so every time I get to come up here, I'll try to bring him with me, keep me straight out there on the road. I got to. I feel extremely blessed and fortunate. I've got to play with so many of my musical heroes over the years since moving to Nashville. Growing up in the family band, and as busy as we were and as serious as we were about all of that, we got to know some of my musical heroes when I was a teenager, and got to know Ricky Skaggs a bit, and he encouraged us to move to Nashville, and I wanted to, so when I was old enough, I did, and I was just 19 when I moved down there. It was February of 1999, and just a few months after I moved there, Ricky asked me to join the band. He kind of created a position in the band for me to play twin fiddles with Bobby Hicks, and to play some of the. He was just getting back into bluegrass out of the country band era, and so there were parts that there was twin fiddle stuff, and there was like some stuff that Stuart Duncan had played on the record, and Ricky wanted me to try to play like Stewart, and which is, I mean, yeah, I mean, everybody tries to play like Stewart, right? Yeah. But I got to, I mean, that really jump-started my career in Nashville. After playing in Ricky's band or getting hired by Ricky, I was pretty much able to do what I wanted to, and my phone was ringing a lot. I was getting to play with people like, after I left Ricky's band, I played with the John Cowan band for a while, and of course I grew up listening to Newgrass Revival and each of those guys, records individually, and well, Bulla, I guess, particularly, but so I played with John Cowan for a while, and then I got to play. I played with a bunch of country artists and over the years, but I really wanted to play like and stay in the, in the kind of the traditional world, and so I got to play with in the Jerry Douglas band around 2007. I guess I started with him, and then as a result of that, and a kind of a need at the time, I think, he asked me to be the fiddle player for the Telluride Sessions band, the Telluride House Band, which is like, they made one record. It was Mark O'Connor and Jerry and Sam and Bulla and Edgar Meyer made a record called Strength in Numbers, and so it was basically, Jerry was asking me to be the fiddle player for that band at the Telluride Bluegrass Festival, like closing the festival, and I couldn't believe it was real. I was like, what, are you serious? Brian Sutton was also a part of that, and on guitar, and it was my dream come true. It was all of my heroes in one place, one stage, one band. It was getting to play the part of Mark O'Connor in the Strength in Numbers band, I cut my teeth on that stuff. I listened to it growing up and knew most of those songs. I learned all that stuff from Bella's album Drive, and all the Strength in Numbers stuff, of course. I used to go to sleep at night listening to that record. I wore it out, no telling how many thousands of times I've heard that stuff. But so showing up for the first rehearsal for that first year was great, and I kind of already knew the stuff, and it didn't feel like, I mean, it was just great. It was a really cool experience. Felt like I had to pinch myself, I was like, am I dreaming? This is incredible. And then so they asked me to come back and do it again the next year. And I was getting ready. It was kind of getting that time, and I was getting ready to go over to Bella's to rehearse again for the Telluride thing. And I started thinking about it. I was like, man, you know what? I have spent so much time learning these guys' material all these years. I mean, I've dedicated, who knows, countless hours to learning this stuff and all of their meandering melodies that, are beautiful, and they don't necessarily, I mean, you have to learn them to know them. And it's not like you can fake your way through that stuff. And so I thought about all the time I'd spent learning all that stuff, and I wanted to write a meandering fiddle tune and make them all learn it. Make them learn it and play my song. So I did. They were all pretty nice about it. Jerry was not super happy, but he did it anyway. This one is called A Pumpkinhead Shuffle. I put out an EP years ago. This was around that same time that I was playing in the Telluride House Band, and I recorded this one and I got Sam and Jerry and Bulla and Brian all on it, and Victor Krause played upright. I couldn't get Edgar in the studio that day, but it has recently been re-released. It's out there now. It's just a self-titled EP, and it's you can find it online, and you can. So I'm saying that so that you can go listen to what this actually sounds like with a band after I play it for you. All right, this is called the Pumpkinhead Shuffle. Oh boy. Well, it got warmer up here somehow. Well, I would like to. I've got some friends here that are that I know through the fiddling world. That I've gotten to know at the National Fiddle Contest in Weiser, Idaho. Kind of a random place to have the National Fiddle Contest, but that's where it is. 70 years now. This year was the 70th anniversary. And I have some old friends here tonight. I would love to get my friend Gary Shue up here to play I'm going to do a little demonstration of what some Texas-style breakdown playing would be like. And yeah, this is, I guess, I'd like to talk about the difference between a traditional bluegrass tune and a Texas tune, like what, a Texas breakdown, and kind of the main differences that you notice right away. If you were to put them side by side, something like, I don't know, Big Mun or Fire on the Mountain or something like that, is generally faster and has more slurs, a lot more notes per bow, and a lot more double stops, and it's just got a real forward-leaning energy, kind of with the whole band, and the banjo is a big part of that. It's a whole vocabulary, With Texas style, listen to a Texas style breakdown, it's like, I guess probably the first thing you might notice is that it's slower, it's not as fast. And it's mostly eighth notes. It's a string of eighth notes. So the voice leading is all there. You can really hear where it's going, where the melody's going. You almost don't need any accompaniment. But fortunately, our friend Andy is going to come up and play guitar with us on this one as well. Yeah. All right, please welcome Gary and Andy, everybody. Well, usually what I do is I play through I'll play through a round, and I talk about at the National Fiddle Contest, each contestant has to play several rounds, and a round is made up of three different tunes, a breakdown, a waltz, and a tune of choice. And the tune of choice cannot be a breakdown or a waltz; it has to be a rag or a polka or schottisch or something like that. And usually. At the National Fiddle Contest, there's so many contestants, or at least there have been in the past, that they impose a time limit, a 4-minute time limit on the contest. So you have to play all three tunes in under 4 minutes. So it's almost like a classical piece. The people don't clap in between songs or the movements. They just go right from one song right to the next, and until it's all done. And I always kind of regretted that.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you guys can just clap for us anytime you want. We're going to start off with and usually it's one fiddler at a time, in the contest, but except when the jam starts happening. So this is going to be a little bit of a demonstration of kind of both sides. We're going to start off with a breakdown, and or a couple of breakdowns. What do you want to do? How long have we known each other, Gary? We met when we were kids.
I was thinking I was probably 10.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I just turned 50, so yeah, like 40 years.
Yeah. Man, time does fly.
Yeah.
But how cool, though. I mean, we met my first, probably within my first year or two, I think, being there.
Yeah.
And oh, thanks. Oh, yeah, there we go.
That's helpful.
Sweet. Thank you. All right. Hey, how about a big hand for Gary running this sound? Yeah, thank you, Gary. And let's go ahead and give a big hand to Shelley and to Christopher behind the bar. Thank you guys for making this happen. Appreciate you all. All right, so we're gonna pass a tune, except we're gonna do two different tunes. Gary's gonna start us off, and which one are you gonna play? Bill Cheatham? All right, cool. And then I'll jump in with, just whenever you're done, just look at me. I'll jump in with probably Gray Eagle or something like that.
Twice or something.
Okay, cool.
So, all right.
No, man, go for it. Excellent. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna have you. We'll do one all together here in a little bit. Okay. So the next tune in the order is a waltz, and I'm gonna play a waltz. Will you do this one with me, Andy? Yeah. Thank you. This is a nice surprise. Thanks for playing, man. This waltz is written by a fiddle player, one of my favorite fiddle players in the world. He passed away back in 2000, but he was just one of the greatest fiddle players on the planet. He could play anything I could imagine. You know, he played everything from Mark Chestnut to Paganini. You know, he was like a really, really incredible player. A guy named Randy Howard. He was quite a character, a really big personality, and he had strong opinions and liked to share them a lot. And but he liked my sister and me and took us under his wing. And although he was not ever afraid to tell me, you know, when he thought my sister beat me in the contest. He had some choice words about a waltz or two. No, he was a really big influence. And this waltz became really popular at the National Old Time Fiddlers Contest when I was there. Probably learned this when I was about 14 or 15. As did a lot of us, and it's a pretty waltz I like to play for Randy. It's called the Golden Fiddle Waltz. You can find this on a recording of his called "Survival of the Fiddlist."
It's a great recording.
It is, yeah. Golden Fiddle Waltz. All right. Well, I'm so lucky to have my friends here, such great fiddle players. I'd love to have my friend Luke Price come up now. Your 2023 National Old Time Fiddling Champion. You know, it was the first time I got to go back to Weezer in 25 years. The last time I was there was 98. And it was the 70th anniversary this year, and I got to judge, and it was so cool to get to go back and take the children, and it was just a wonderful time. We're planning on continuing to go back.
Cool.
Such a good time. And taking Mason and Luna to see all these other young kids, you know, see them like get inspired. And Mason's like, he doesn't listen to anything but fiddle tunes now. He's just constantly listening to fiddle tunes, so it's great. Yeah. All right. Well, I am a huge fan of this guy's fiddle playing, and so grateful that you came out to sit in, man. Thank you. Let's play. So this would be the tune of choice section of the. We're way over time here. They're taking 10 points at a time. They're just peeling them off right now. All right. All right. We're gonna do a set of C tunes for the tune of choice. What you gonna do? Okay.
Let's just both play hot foot.
Okay.
I can hear.
Okay.
When you play in a jam session, a lot of times you just play a tune and then you pass it to somebody and you get to hear their take on it. So
That's true, and that is another big difference between Texas style and bluegrass is the kind of the way that it gets passed. Like in bluegrass, you take your solo over the form A B B or whatever it is, and then you pass it around, and then it will probably come around to you again once or twice. But in a Texas jam, each fiddle player goes until they're done, and then hands it off to the next fiddler. So that's what we'll do right here, I guess. I learned this off of a record called A Touch of Texas by the great breakdown player Terry Morris. right, that's Luke. Thanks to Andy on the guitar. Hey, do you want to play? Will you guys come back up, Gunnar and Gary and Luke? Will you guys? Let's play one and close out the set. Let's play Whiskey Before Breakfast. Here again, just a song title, not a recommendation.
Andy plays fiddle too.
That's right. Man, this is fun. I'm so glad y'all are here, and thanks for sitting in with me. This is great. All right, we're gonna play this here Whiskey Before Breakfast. What key is this in? I'm just kidding. See if y'all are paying attention.
It's a quiz.
What's that? Oh, yeah, it's all right.
Did you know this song? We have other fiddlers here too.
How many of y'all play fiddle? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 4. That's great. That's 6. There we go. There, yeah, 6. Shout out to my student Mel Fuller back there. Drove up from Salem today. Thank you. All right, let's see if I'm in tune with you now. All right. Yeah, close enough. All right. All right, here we go. thanks so much to Gunnar, to Andy, to Gary, and to Luke for sitting in with me. We're gonna take a little break, and we'll be back with a second set in a little bit. Thanks you guys so much.
Thank you.
right, all right. And we're back. Well, that was really fun. Thanks, you guys, for sitting in with me. That was great. All right, I'm going to play a couple more. These are two more of my favorite bluegrass tunes. But I get the added benefit having some really good fiddle players here listening to me, so it's making me nervous. Keeping me honest over here. So, as I was talking about, Ricky Skaggs created this position in the band for me to play fiddle with Bobby Hicks, and Bobby was not extremely happy about that. He was, he was cool to me, but I was green, and I was just 19, and I would get out my fiddle, and we'd get somewhere, get off the bus, and go into the dressing room, and I'd get out my fiddle, and I'd be warming up and playing something, and I would feel this presence, like, I'd turn around, and Bobby'd be there frowning down at me, He'd look at me, he'd say, "You want me to teach you the original? You want me to teach you how that really goes?" He's a legend. I mean, he's a legendary fiddle player. Played on that original Bill Monroe stuff, and in fact, he wore a belt that said "The Legend." It had it embossed. It's great. Bobby just turned 90 years old this year, and he called me on my birthday a few weeks ago, and it was just so sweet. I hadn't heard from him in a long time. It was really good to catch up with him, but he taught me how this one really goes. out my fiddle in the dressing room one time and was playing my usual warm-up stuff and kind of too fast, whatever. And Bobby came up to me and he said, "I hate that Mark O'Connor stuff that you play." He told me, when I talked to him a few weeks ago, he told me, he said, after you left the band, I tried to play that stuff, and it's harder than it looks. Oh, good old Bobby. I'm going to do a song now about a dog. This is a song that I heard a long time ago. I don't know who wrote this one, but I love it. I heard James Taylor do it on an album. It wasn't his album, he was guesting on it. And I first started when I was like a teenager and started doing it somewhat recently again. Old Blue. Well, I had an old dog and his name was Blue. Had an old dog and his name was Blue. Had an old dog and his name was Blue. Bet you $5 he's a good dog too. Well, here, Blue, you good dog, you. Well, I shouldered my axe and tooted my horn. Went to find possum in the new-grown corn. Old Blue treed and I went to see. Blue had a possum up a tall oak tree. Roast possum, nice and brown. Baked potatoes all around. Well, here, Blue, you can have some too. Now old Blue died, and he died so hard, made a big dent in my backyard. I dug his grave with a silver spade, lowered him down with a link of chain. Every link I would call his name. Well, here, Blue, you good dog, you. I said, here, Blue, you good dog, you. Now when I get to heaven, first thing I'll do. When I get to heaven, first thing I'll do. When I go home to heaven, first thing I'll do is pull out the horn and call old Blue. Well, here, Blue, you good dog, you. I said, here, Blue, I'm coming there too. Good old blues. All right. Well, I would love to ask. I'm going to ask Luke Price to come back up. I was planning on doing this one, the last set, and we were having so much fun we ran out of time. This is a true story song about a fiddle player from Oklahoma. It was a well-known and well-loved Texas dance hall fiddle player. He played for a lot of dances and was got to be really well-known all across the region. And a good friend of mine named Jared Tyler, an excellent musician and a singer and songwriter, knew that family well. And when Willard passed away, kind of left this legacy and had a really full life and had all these instruments. And my friend Jared went over to visit with Willard's wife and kind of help her figure out what to do with instruments and what to do next, you know. And based on that conversation and that interaction, he started this song, and he sent us a beginning, and Brian and I finished it for the album. This is a true story song about a man named Willard. Yeah, I kind of do a faded lifting on the end, but you'll hear it. Yeah. All right.
Will I?
We just rehearsed there.
You didn't hear that.
She said, I don't listen to country anymore. It makes me lonesome for Willard, my love. And the pain in my chest is not worth the risk on the radio. So won't you sing me a gospel song? 'Cause it's faith we built our lives upon. Since they carried him out my door, she said, I don't listen to country anymore. Makes me lonesome for Willard. And the sound of his fiddle, and the way that he would play a song for me, so beautiful and tender, and I'll always remember everything I lost. Now he's not here with me. I'm so lonesome for Willard. Well, I thought that I could change her mind with a little Bob Wills, maybe Patsy Cline. But it took her to a night in a dance hall. Yeah, Willard and the boys, they were giving it their all. They played Take Me Back to Tulsa, and the Orange Blossom Special. I could almost hear his faded love, so beautiful and tender. And I'll always remember everything I lost. Now he's not here with me. I'm so lonesome for Willard. She said I don't need this fiddle anymore. Well, it's yours now, son. Take care of her. Well, it's hard for me, but it's time for it to go. But I know he'd love to see you draw the bow, playing midnight on the water. And don't let your line of Baker, and the way that you can't play a maiden's prayer, so beautiful and tender, I know I'll always remember. I miss you, darling, more and more every day, as heaven would miss the stars above. With every heartbeat I still think of you and remember our faded love. Thanks, man. That's Luke Price, everybody. Thank you, Luke. Beautiful, man. All right. Well, I would like to get my cousin Gunnar back up here, and we have a surprise for you all. Gunnar's not only a wonderful musician, he's also an accomplished Irish step dancer. And yes, and so we're gonna, well, he's gonna bust a move, as it were, if you will, and I think you will. I don't mind. I don't mind a bit. We gotta have a. I'm gonna put Gunnar over here on the spot that sounds right.
We'll see. Yeah. In my sneakers here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, cool. What's the matter? That was great. All right.
My fiddle solo is going to sound like.
You getting a fiddle solo on this one? I'm just joking.
Whatever you hand to me.
All right, so this one's a bluegrass number that has this is pretty good fare for bluegrass subject matter. I first heard this song when I moved to Nashville. As I was saying, I was only 19, and I wasn't old enough to go into places I wanted to go to hear music, and so I would go to a couple different places I could get into, like the Station Inn, and there was this place called the Gibson Guitar Cafe, and I went down there and heard John Hartford's son, Jamie Hartford, play and sing. He's a great musician and a really good songwriter, and a killer band with him. Ray Flack and electric guitar, Charlie Chadwick on upright bass. I would go see those guys every Wednesday night. I first heard him do this song, and he did it like a real country version, electric guitars and everything, drums and harmonica and stuff. It was a really cool version, but I mean, after getting to know the song a little bit, I thought, man, that'd make a really good bluegrass song. Kind of a slam grass, like 90s, like Lonesome River Band style, And so it took me a while to get to it. Ronnie McCurry ended up recording it before I could, but that's a great version also. Sarah Giroux sang this one with me on my record, and that was really fun. This one's called "Somebody's Gonna Pay." Somebody's gonna pay for the way that you walked on me. Somebody's gonna pay for the way that you lied. Somebody's gonna learn that's something you just don't do to me. Somebody's gonna pay for the way that I cried. Well, the only way to get back at you is with someone new. Someone who could be there all the time. But I know it's wrong and it sure is cruel. I'm gonna break a heart the same way you did mine. Somebody's gonna pay for the way that you walked on me. Somebody's gonna pay for the way that you lied. Somebody's gonna learn that's something you just don't do to me. Somebody's gonna pay for the way that I cried. Well, never again will I ever depend on such a foolish thing. Never will I show my hidden side. I opened my soul and I told you things, and all you did was take me for a ride. Somebody's gonna pay for the way that you walked on me. Somebody's gonna pay for the way that you lied. Somebody's gonna learn that's something you just don't do to me. Somebody's gonna pay for the way that I cried. Somebody's gonna pay for the way that you lied. Let's do Remember Will. I was talking about traveling in those buses, and we would do our homeschooling, when the school season started, on the bus. But mostly we would spend the winters at home, up there next to the British Columbia border, going up to Red Mountain to go skiing, and then doing our schooling for the rest of the time. But we would take on Sunday afternoons when we were home up there in our tiny little hometown up in Washington State. My sister and I would take our fiddles and go to the elder care facility. Our aunt was the superintendent up there, and we would go play music for folks and visit with them a little bit. And there was one time that I met this lady in the TLC wing or ward. You know, they had to keep her locked in there. She had Alzheimer's and just had a profound impact. I had a conversation with her that day and had a really big impact on me. And I thought about it for a long time. Years later, I wrote this song about it. Waiting by the stair, the years have caught up with her. Oh God, it's cold down there. If only she could see the light this late December night. Once I asked her name, and I could see her searching. No words her eyes explain. If she could, she would tell, but she don't remember well. We wear our wounds for all to see, the reasons for our memory. What happens when they go? Are they healed or are they bleeding slow? She can see so clear the changing world around her, but the passing of the years is faded with the failing light this late December night. We wear our wounds for all to see, the reasons for our memory. Oh, what happens when they go? Are they healed or are they bleeding slow? We wear our wounds for all to see, the reasons for our memories. Oh, what happens when they go? Are they healed or are they bleeding slow? Thank you. Thank you, Gunner. Beautiful, man. All right.
Just stay up or?
Let me see here. Let's do, what did I leave out? I left out all the slow ones. All right, well, I'm just, I rearranged my set list earlier, and now I've got too many of the same kind of song all backed up. It's a little inside information for you guys there. I'm just going to do a couple of more songs for y'all. I really appreciate you coming out and spending the evening with me. And thanks again to Andy and to Gary and to Luke and to Gunner for sitting in with me. And thanks again to Gary and Christopher and Shelley for all their hard work and putting this on. And thanks you all for supporting live music. Yeah, it's without you all, we wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you. This is another song by the great Guy Clark, and this is just one of my favorite songs, period. I wish I had a dime for every bad time, but the bad times always seem to keep the change. And you've been all alone, so you know what I'm saying. And when all you can recall is the pain, just you wait until tomorrow when you wake up with me at your side and find I hadn't lied about nothing. And I wouldn't trade a tree for the way I feel about you in the morning. Anyhow, I love you. Every day it gets just a little bit better, and half forgetting there's knowing where I've been before. I'm sure you understand, 'cause I ain't your first man. And when you feel like running for the back door, don't. Just you wait until tomorrow when you wake up with me at your side and find I hadn't lied about nothing. And I wouldn't trade a tree for the way I feel about you in the morning. Anyhow, I love you. Wait until tomorrow when you wake up with me at your side and find I hadn't lied about nothing. And I wouldn't trade a tree for the way I feel about you in the morning. Anyhow, I love you. Thank y'all so much. Gunner Nelson on the fiddle. Thank you, Gunner. Okay. Last one. I'm really grateful to y'all for being here. This song I am really proud to say I got to write with Guy Clark and John Randall. I was writing a bunch of songs with John Randall around 2006 through 8 or 9, and around the time I was starting with Lyle. And yeah, John Randall, we had a writing session scheduled, and he called me the night before. He said, I'm going to take you to Guy Clark's house, and we're going to write a song with Guy Clark. And I said, what? And but sure enough, we went over there. It was the first time I met Guy in person. I, of course, was familiar with his music and had heard stories about how he kind of enjoyed making people feel uncomfortable. When he first would meet them or whatever. No, not really. But he did have kind of a. He definitely never went out of his way, to make the other person feel comfortable by, engaging in small talk or saying anything to put a person at ease. I think he liked to watch people stew in their discomfort. Yeah, Lyle has some really amazing stories. But I didn't expect to get to write a song with Guy, and it was just such a cool experience to get to go over to his house that day, and he made us coffee, and we got to sit around in his basement and play on guitars that he built, and we knew we were going to try to write some lyrics around some kind of fiddle tune. Guy was actually he was doing that with with another great friend of ours, a great songwriter named Sean Camp, and so we ended up deciding on this one that I've been playing for a long time. This one's called The Temperance Reel. Thanks again, you all. I make my living playing fiddle. Well, I played every night. Tell the truth, I'd fiddle if I didn't make a dime. And I sure like good liquor, it makes me wanna play. The funny thing about the fiddle is it makes you wanna drink. True story. For a shot of homemade whiskey and $100 bill, I'll burn the hair right off of this bow and play the temperance reel. Well, I play one for the ladies, so sweet they swoon and sway. I play one for those I've left and the one that got away. Well, I played it in the mountains and out on the western plains. I play it for my brother who I'll never see again. Play it high, play it lonesome like a mountain whippoorwill. Let's burn the rosin off of this bow and play the temperance reel. Well, if drinking and dancing is an awful, dreadful sin, then I know where I'm going, sure as I know where I've been. This old fiddle bit me on the leg when I was 6 years old. I guess I'm gonna play it till the devil gets my soul. But I could play it all night long and never get my fill. Let's lay that rhythm down, boys, and play the temperance reel. Thanks very much, you guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. All right. Let's see. Do you guys know, do you know Garfield's? No? Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna do this one for you guys. This is another this is a old timey fiddle tune that I think we all started playing it. I had heard Stuart Duncan play this, but I really got into it when Sarah Watkins was she was playing this all the time back around 2007 or 8, and we jammed on it a bunch and played it on stage a bunch. And then I was playing it with a friend of mine. I was on the road with Lyle, and we were in Europe. We were in England somewhere, and we were playing. We were just, Keith plays mandolin, he plays acoustic instruments, and with a large band, we don't really do all that much, bluegrass in the way of bluegrass. I mean, there's a section where we kind of do a tune or two, but not. We don't really get to stretch out and jam, And so Keith played mandolin, and we would always be playing some tunes somewhere, backstage at a dressing room or whatever. And we were playing this next tune, and it's really like it's an old time tune. It's like a real like a fiddle, like a real mountain Appalachian sounding tune. It's got a sharp 4 or the flatted 5th, I guess I should say, in it, and it's kind of the whole characteristic of the whole tune. It's anyway, Lyle liked it, and he heard us playing it, and he said he called our kind of our band leader guy, the piano player, and had him write. The guy who writes charts for the horns and everything, and had him write this chart for this old time tune. It's like, so we recorded it, and it's got like horn lines and drums and piano and pedal steel. It's pretty wild. Yeah, it's a lot different than it was written. I'm pretty sure, but it's a cool version of it. But anyway, this is a fun one called Garfield's Blackberry Blossom. Thanks again, you guys. Thank you very much. I'll see y'all next time.